What is happening there, Reject Nation? Greg and John here today. We're going to watch Visions episode 7 today. Guys, if you like Star Wars, hit the dislike button. I mean, the like button. Whichever one. Also, subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified whenever our reaction for the next Visions is up. Full-length watch-alongs, we stick with the time code as always over at our Patreon page. Cover a whole bunch of shows over there as well, for where you got reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. Lastly, Pratham or Jaden, whichever one edited this. Thanks a lot! The old person. Gramps.
Master, I have been meaning to ask you.
Do you shave?
Have any idea how many planets you visited so far? Well, you must hold the Jedi record for most planets visited.
Well, I really doubt that.
David Harbour?
For one, I was hoping for something a little more stimulating. Like maybe more action. It's a lot more peaceful than I thought it would be. Do you sense something?
Action.
I sense a disturbance in the Force.
Wow, what a big D ship you got there, man.
Big ship energy.
Something ancient and sinister.
Could it possibly be Sith? If so, you know I'm ready to fight.
It's been hundreds of years since they were destroyed.
I
So we need to investigate.
won't talk too soon.
The only inhabited planet around here is Harbour, right?
Have you been there?
Yeah.
Besides, I had a feeling patrolling the Outer Rim had to be more exciting than this.
Well, I got a bad feeling about this.
Careful what you wish for, Parker.
The view from above was great, but it's even more beautiful planetside.
Then you should try the local dish called Undun. You'll like it even more.
Sage wisdom, as always.
Beautiful.
God, this looks so cool.
The people of this planet are known to be quite shy. Why don't I go try to talk to them first?
You want to fight?
A couple of days ago, an elder from an unknown tribe visited. When he arrived on his ship, he was alone.
Larry Elder.
If it's this elder, he could be hiding his presence, which means that he is close. But it also means he's noticed us.
Should we head to the mountains then?
If we do that, we run the risk of missing him. It's safer to stay here and watch over his ship.
Better idea. Why don't we split up?
Always works.
The mountains are tricky. You should get a guide.
Again, so wise.
I love Harbour's voice.
I know.
So perfect.
So calming.
I wouldn't think an old man could manage a path like this.
You've been underestimating old people all day.
I should be one to talk.
Oh, he's fine.
I've located the old man's starship. It isn't a model I recognize, but it resembles the old Sith ships I've seen in Hollows. I'm really hoping that isn't true, but I've got a bad feeling.
There's a Vamka carcass.
Be safe.
I'm gonna go fight the carcass.
It appears the Vamka has been cut down.
This was definitely done by a lightsaber.
You should head back then. He's sure to be a dangerous opponent.
No.
Oh, he's a tiny elder.
A Jedi.
Oh my god.
No.
Then, are you a Sith?
Let's not speak with our mouths, but with our blades.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
I sense someone strong in the Force, but it's not you. It must be the other.
Burn.
I won't be as easily defeated as a Vamka.
I certainly hope not.
No.
No.
Elder battle.
Shouldn't have let them split up, man.
Love the rain.
Oh, you little sinister creep, you.
Whoa, cool. Oh ho ho.
That technique.
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the coolest.
What a badass moment.
Dad.
No, no. Oh.
He couldn't win against the weakness that comes with age. No matter how powerful you become, no will not last forever. I am also becoming weaker, and you shall continue to get stronger, for that is the way of the galaxy.
You think I'll get stronger?
Quite possibly.
Buzz off.
You want it, kids?
Piss on it.
Take that, you Sith bastard.
Cool.
Nice.
Another good one, man.
Might
All
be
been
the-
pretty great.
Yeah. That might be the coolest Jedi kill I've ever seen.
All right, cool. Let's chitty chat. Another great episode. Another solid one. Felt like I love how much I played on Classic Samurai.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very much so, in every way. Even like the badass grandpa or elder type. Yeah.
So experienced that his age barely seems to matter.
Yeah. And everything here seemed to be like metaphor, proverb, lessons, like all the dialogue exchange seemed to just inhabit that. And I thought the voiceover work, especially by Harbour, brought so much more extra dimension to the character, because while you don't get a lot of dialogue exchanges, it seems to be truly like character based or really understanding them to that degree. Still feels like you're getting some character, especially because of the voiceover work that they got. Like both of them did such a great job, but especially Harbour, that you feel the history of it all. Like what I thought that, especially what Harbour brought so great to it with his voiceover work. This might be the first time I'm really talking a lot about a character's voiceover. What I thought he brought so great to it is that by the time you get to here where the ending point when talking about age and how it's inevitable, even though, you got like your Palpatines who know how to clone themselves, soul transfer, whatever the hell it is, that you could feel sort of that weariness on him throughout this whole performance. That effect of age seems to be really imbued in his whole performance throughout. So that's why I thought his voiceover work especially felt incredibly fleshed out. But yeah, like the mood that struck and the atmosphere throughout all of it felt like classic samurai, and of course with another great lightsaber battle at the end here. It was probably going to be one of the coolest ones they've done so far.
In terms of just, like stark, picturesque badassness, like that is definitely going to stick out of my mind. That one where he just thrusts the hilt into his chest and turns it on. Like that was one of the most satisfying, like badass Star Wars moments. But yeah, I loved how this really does feel, perhaps out of all of them, the most classic samurai, because it's like, you start out and they're just on the road traveling, out in space. But, and then they happen upon this town, there's some kind of presence there they need to, assess and deal with, and then from there they do what they have to do. But even though you don't spend so much time in the town, like I like the thing with the kids, you see at least a couple people from afar from Dan's perspective, and then you sort of go into the task at hand. And so it had this very straightforward but also very classic samurai sort of feel that didn't feel as specifically locked into like as the first episode did, like, okay, we're doing like a Kurosawa movie specifically. And I loved what David Harbour did. He just like, there's something about when people are able to bring a voice performance, especially in anime, where it's like he is so poised and like calm, but you can tell that calmness comes from years and years of travel, seeing things, wisdom earned, through trial and error. And so, yeah, he had so much presence, and I thought it worked well against the actor playing Dan because, obviously that character has the more youthful, like, let me at him kind of energy. And across this series, like, we've seen a lot of master and Padawan kind of scenarios or dynamics. But I liked what this one represented in that you are really, for the most part, aside from having, this battle with this ancient Sith guy, you are just kind of with the two of them going about the day by day of what it is that they do. Yeah, I really enjoyed this quite a bit.
Well, even with the old guy, there was such a zeal for the warrior presence that it feels very. That's, I think, what makes it feel just a tad bit more samurai honored than even perhaps the first episode to a certain extent, because of the fact that its villain is all about just the fighting, like living. All that keeps this guy alive is searching for another warrior to take on, and that he would want to meet his death in the hands of battle, and so that's why I think this even feels a little bit more samurai-esque more than the first one, because of that fact. Like, that one is its own for sure, but that feels like it's riffing on certain movies a little bit more specific. And then this one, just the qualities that it presents here and the themes at hand just feels so like traditional in every sense. So I loved it. I thought that he was like the villain especially was just so cool. He just felt like out of so many different animes I've seen already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And even how they brought that theme back around of it first. Dan's the one sitting around being like, man, I want some action. I'm getting kind of bored out here. And then it circles around to the old man being like, I want some action. This is kind of boring, give me a challenge.
It's very anime.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Bored looking for adventure.
In the form of the ultimate fight.
But I think what it does bring so good with character, the Padawan's name is Dan?
I believe so, yeah.
But what it does bring with character, especially too, with Dan, is this guy is, he's anxious, he's yearning for some more action in his life, and then that desire, which is not the path of the Jedi, leads him to almost losing his life. And you could feel a change in character by the end of it, though, of after almost losing his life, clearly not being ready for certain ambitious challenges that lie ahead of him, that he does need to slow down and he does need to keep in mind with his training and his to keep his diligence up there, versus feeling like you got to go head on into fighting all of a sudden. I mean, when you feel like you're ready, you might not be ready. So you do feel that change in the character and the actor. I don't know who played him, but the actor's voiceover work, especially, that he's not who he was by the beginning of this episode. He's
going to remember his kindness and training more.
So while the dialogue was a little bit more on the nose, just about like lessons and here's what's going on, and then like the obvious setup of let's split up, like, okay, well, this is obviously going to go terrible. Other than that, there are still character-based nuances underneath the surface that I was able to, at least myself, latch onto, that perhaps it wasn't super apparent in the dialogue, but it's still there, which I think is the art of good visual storytelling.
Absolutely.
And this is great visuals as well. Like, it's another one packed, like every episode, even ones that I'm not as like personally drawn to as much. Every episode delivers a different animation flourish that just makes it that much cooler. So I thought this was beautiful to look at again. And yeah, well, so far, what is the 7th episode?
Yeah.
The only one I wasn't a major fan of so far is Tatooine Rhapsody. That's the only one I'm not a big fan of, but the other ones have brought something special that I think to the galaxy. And I would love to see, like, this is another one. I'm like, man, I love to see this character brought to live action. It'd be so cool.
Get David Harbour to grow all his hair out. Get a real skinny.
I don't think Harbour could play him, but I like those like aged, withered, super like kind of stoic anime performances. Where there's not it's not you're not overly emotive per se, but you could feel there's a lot going on underneath the surface of the voice. So
he showed up, and I thought immediately of Aizawa from My Hero Academia.
Yeah, and Aizawa, Tybor, Kakashi from Naruto, you know, some things like that really do feel amplified in this universe. But guys, what do you think about this episode? Leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell, hit that like button. Thanks for checking us out here. We'll catch you guys soon.